Detectives Sarah Vance and Ryan Carter were no strangers to peculiar cases. Both seasoned investigators, they had tackled their fair share of missing persons, but this one felt different. The disappearance of Evan Morris, a young urban legend enthusiast, had captured the town's attention. The eerie recording left behind on his voice recorder only deepened the mystery. Sarah, pragmatic and sharp-eyed, sat in the passenger seat of their unmarked car as they drove toward Whispering Pines. She flipped through the thin case file for the 100th time, her lips pursed. So, a forest that swallows people, huh? And an echo that speaks back? Sounds like a campfire story. Ryan, her partner, who often leaned into his gut instincts, kept his focus on the winding road. Maybe it is, or maybe it's why nobody else has gone missing in that forest for years, except him. We've got one lead, Sarah said, holding up a grainy photo from Evan's social media. It showed him posing near the trail's entrance, flashlight in hand. The timestamp read 8:42 p.m., just hours before his disappearance. He told people where he was going. That's more than we usually get. The pair reached the forest's edge just as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the trees. The rustle of leaves in the cool evening breeze gave the place a sinister feel. For the next week, the detectives combed through Evan's life and scoured the woods. They spoke to friends, reviewed his online posts, and followed up on tips from locals who claimed to know something. But every lead turned cold. Clue 1. The compass. While searching the trail, Sarah stumbled upon a compass lying half-buried in the dirt. The brass casing was scratched and worn, its needle spinning erratically. It looked old, but functional. This doesn't look like Evan's, Sarah noted, turning it over in her hand. Probably belongs to a hiker. Ryan studied it and nodded. Still, we'll run it for prints. The forensics report came back the next day. No usable fingerprints, and the compass wasn't listed as lost in any hiker reports. A promising lead had dissolved into another dead end. Clue 2. The stranger's testimony. On the 5th day, a local man named Harold Brown came forward. He claimed he had seen Evan walking on the trail that night. Harold's account was bizarre. He described Evan arguing with someone who looked exactly like him. 2 of them, Harold said, his eyes wide. One looked normal, but the other, it moved wrong. Jerky, like a puppet with tangled strings. Sarah pressed him for details, but Harold's story fell apart under scrutiny. His timeline didn't match the photo timestamp, and he couldn't remember basic details like what Evan was wearing. Just another eccentric trying to get his 15 minutes, Sarah said after they left Harold's home. Ryan shrugged. Maybe. Or maybe he's scared. By the end of the week, the detectives were frustrated. The case seemed to mock them at every turn. We've got nothing, Sarah muttered as they sat in their office, the case file spread out before them. No footprints, no DNA, no real witnesses. Just a compass, a crazy man, and a spooky recording. Ryan leaned back in his chair, staring at the forest map pinned to the wall. What if we're looking at this wrong? He said after a long silence. What if it's not about what we're finding? What if it's about what's missing? Sarah raised an eyebrow. What's missing? Ryan's eyes darkened. Evan wasn't the first person to go missing in Whispering Pines, just the first one anyone cared about. What if this thing, whatever it is, covers its tracks better than we can? Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. You think we're up against something unnatural? Ryan didn't answer, but his silence said everything.